Mr. Chair, I got a minute left, but I really want to yield to any of my colleagues and ask them if they will say today, very basically, that when it came down to the war in Ukraine, that it was not Ukraine that invaded Russia, it was the other way around. Is there anybody in here that has enough courage to say that Russia invaded Ukraine?
You can have my time.
And this is yet the problem.
And so, look, I love everything that Jasmine Crockett said there. I am a little bit mad at the camera person for just staying on her. I really feel like they should have done a panning shot across all the Republicans who are just like, I can't say that. I know that it's true, but I'm not allowed to say it. That would have really sold the moment. But unfortunately, all we have is Jasmine Crockett willing to admit that which is obviously indisputably true. And she expands on the topic here.
It is time for us to say, Mr. President, guess what? Russia invaded Ukraine. Can we at least agree on that one? Facts matter. Y'all, this is literally potentially putting us into an international crisis. We may be heading towards the next world war because we have a president that wants to pal around with Putin and wants to do everything to make him feel good, including lying about who invaded who.
Yeah, and so look, I think that one of the things of the many things that we need to do over the next 4 years is state the truth. Russia invaded Ukraine, and it doesn't matter what Donald Trump says about it. It doesn't change that. Russia invaded Ukraine. They tried to do a coup on January 6th. Again, doesn't matter if we ever get justice for that. Doesn't matter if he pardons people. That's what happened. Trans people exist. They always have, and they always will. These things do not become untrue just because a despot is in charge. And so I'm glad that there are some people who are willing to speak up about it. Now, what is Trump focused on right now? Well, his big minerals deal. He wants to get that. He feels like we, I guess, should own the minerals of Ukraine or whatever. And some Republicans might think, well, that's good. We should steal that. We should steal far more in value than we gave them in weapons. That makes sense to us, but not so fast. First of all, you're never gonna get that money. That's not how it's gonna go. That's not how it's gonna work. It's going to go to business people. That's who it's gonna go to. And also, it's not even gonna go to them very quickly. Experts are saying it could take many years for any of this, even if it happens, to pay off. So setting up a rare earth mine costs at least $2 billion. So it's gonna take a massive investment. Again, more costs that we're gonna have to pay. And profits won't be generated for 10 to 15 years. Even specifically for lithium, it's 3 or 4 years away. To put that in perspective, Donald Trump, in theory, won't be president anymore. And judging by me watching him, probably won't be around anymore. That's how far off it is at this point. You can roughly track it to the counter right behind me. And so it's not the sort of amazing deal that Donald Trump has described it to be and has used massive lies in pursuit of. But Francesca, what do you make of all this?
I got a lot to say. I mean, first of all, the GOP has been bought and sold, and Russia is part of the buying, okay? We know that Republicans, this is separate from the Trump collusion stuff in 2016 and 17, that Republicans visited Moscow in 2018. Republican senators went there, just so whatever, just like see how their barons were doing, their benefactors were doing, right? We're not supposed to talk about all the money that came through the NRA to the Republican Party and the Trump administration. Man, why else would they go along with this? Yeah, like occasionally you'll have a Lindsey Graham who says like, I don't agree, but like, here Jasmine Crockett is calling everybody out. Yeah, and I'm glad she is. And it's psychotic, right? Just breaking news, Keir Starmer of the UK is visiting with Trump, was asked whether, Trump is asked if the UK was invaded by Russia, would the United States help? And Trump's response was, I think they can handle it themselves. They've got it. They can fend for themselves. I mean, it's wild, right? It's wild, and you gotta think like, Putin, he's super happy right now. And if I were Crockett, I would watch out because she is one of the lone voices speaking out against this. On the minerals deal, a few days ago, last week actually, it seemed like it wasn't gonna happen. Zelenskyy said verbatim, I can't sell my country out like that. It was really admirable and it was incredible, but also Ukraine is Ukraine. And they don't have the funds, they don't have the military, they don't have obviously what Russia has, the gas that Russia has. And they are once again in the crosshairs of Donald Trump's extortion racket in the service of Vladimir Putin and of course their own pocketbooks. So what is Zelenskyy gonna do? He's gonna sign the minerals deal. And again, as you mentioned, it's not even gonna benefit Trump, and it's not even worth all that much. But here you have someone who is being strong-armed, right, by Donald Trump, by our dictator, and it's really disgusting. Like, we've gone from supporting Ukraine to strong arming and again extorting and on and on. And whether it was the dirt on Joe Biden or whether it's, I don't even know what Trump wants from Zelenskyy. What could he possibly? It's like. You know what I mean? And I love it because he's not even trying to dig up dirt on Gavin Newsom or anyone because he's not planning on leaving office.
Yeah, no, 100%. And by the way, I don't want them to make that deal. I think that's insane. I don't want the US military to become mercenaries. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that at all. But I also understand that they're in a very difficult spot and have been ever since Donald Trump won the election. Their territorial integrity, their identity, their society, their culture, all of that is now at the mercy of two despots. And they're stuck with taking like a mob protection deal sucks. But when the alternative is Zelensky's definitely will die individually. He will definitely be killed by Putin as a part of whatever happens here, and likely will anyway, by the way. If you think that Zelensky's gonna live the next 20 years, I think that that's far less likely now. And many other Ukrainians will as well. So what is he supposed to do? Okay, America it's obviously the shining hill, shining, beacon on the hill or whatever was always obviously overplayed, but we're not even pretending to be that. We're not even aspiring to be that anymore. And so you're caught between these two madmen. And so he's in a very difficult spot. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.